So what's up, people? Welcome to the What's Been Going On of this week from the 27th of July until the 2nd of August. And this is, well, as you can see, I'm back home. But this is a difficult What's Been Going On to make because I'm a bit sad. I'm home, so I'm happy about it. But on the other hand, I'm no longer in Paris, which I'm sad about. It's like a combo of both things. But yeah, I'll sort of explain how this week went. This was my last week working, like in the internship, and my last week living in Paris. I came here Saturday, and it was tough. It was tough. Like first, well, Monday and Tuesday, were sort of tough days. Like it was Monday was the last full day of Nelma with me for a while, and then Tuesday was the day she left, but she left very early in the morning. So Monday was very nice. I spent whole day with her. I made some nachos in the oven. It was so good. We went to a park that's like that was sort of close to where we lived, and it's like this Citroen park, like the car, but there's a park like that. The name has the name of the creator of Citroen, and it was a beautiful park, very close to the river. It was very beautiful, but then it sort of hit me like, okay, this is the last day I'll spend with my girlfriend for a while. How much? I don't know. Probably a month. Probably maybe 2 months. Well, maybe a bit more than a month. So that's a bit sad, when you see a loved one the last time. Well, it's not that she's dying or anything, but that you'll not see them for a while. It is indeed a bit sad. And then she left very, very early on Tuesday. So we left the apartment like 5 a.m., which is, well, when you leave the apartment 5 a.m., you don't necessarily sleep that well. And we went there, train station, train left, and I was like, oh no, this is so sad. And then, it was so early, it was like 7, I was like out in a train station. And then I was like, well, you know what? It's so early. Why don't I just go and walk through the center of Paris? And I have to say, the times I've seen Paris the best, or I've enjoyed it most, or I can just, it's very early in the morning. Like before it's 8 a.m., between 6 and 7 a.m., I think if you just want to enjoy Paris for yourself, it is the best time to go. And there's nobody out, probably a bit of, homeless people here and there, maybe some people cleaning the streets, but it's so beautiful. And when you see the sunrise and you see all of these magnificent buildings and you walk through the river and you go until all of these beautiful bridges, it's like, wow. I went to this park close to the Louvre that has like a big lake where there's many, well, it's not a lake, it's, well, a huge water. I don't even know how to say it. Water. Well, a fountain, a huge water fountain. I don't know, but there's like a million little seats, and it was like 7 a.m. and I sat there for a while, and I was just like looking. I was thinking, like, it was so beautiful. There was nobody there. Then there were like old people walking their dogs like super early in the morning. And then people started coming in, but I was the first one to be sitting at this place that's always packed. That was very nice. And then I went to McDonald's, but turns out McDonald's doesn't open until 10 a.m. So that's very late. So I couldn't have McDonald's, which was sad. But yeah, on Tuesday, the thing I take the most is like, wow, like how beautiful Paris is. Like very early in the morning, it's amazing. And then Wednesday I think was the day I started realizing I'll not be here no more. Because, well, it's the day as well I met with my buddy Maher, which is a buddy I did my bachelor's with here where I live. And, we were 18-year-olds when we met. Both of us thought that we would not have our first year. Both of us ended up having it miraculously. And, it's so funny. I have so many memories with him. The first 3 years of me living in France and living alone, it was the first 3 years of him living in France and living alone. So we have a sort of nice relationship. Now he's doing a master's. I saw him as soon as I got here, and I saw him as soon as I was gonna leave. So like in Paris, I mean. So we spent some time together. We had a nice little kebab. He showed me around where he lived. It was good. And then I went home, and I was like, this is one of the, I'll go back to my apartment alone. There's nobody in my apartment. And I don't know, that felt a bit lonely, to be fair, but I guess, that's life. But, after living with somebody for months, now going home alone, it does feel weird. And then Thursday happened. Thursday I had a nice day at work. I think my coworkers started to see that, oh, he leaves tomorrow. So it's like, oh, tomorrow it's very soon. So he's leaving soon. So probably started treating me nicer than what they normally treated me. But it's okay. And then as well, since I had the realization on Wednesday, oh, I'll leave here. Tomorrow is my last day here. It was I enjoyed working. I would say I enjoyed going to work. I enjoyed getting out of work, taking out the metro as well. When I take out the metro, I can see the Eiffel Tower. So it was wow, I get to see this every day. And as well, the metro I take to go home, to go to work. There's always tourists taking photos of the Eiffel Tower because it passes through a little a good bridge where you can see the Eiffel Tower perfectly. I was like, I see this every day for months to go to work, and now I'll not see it no more. It was a bit sad, but I felt a bit like a tourist in the town I lived, which is nice, the town that I no longer live in. But it was melancholic, I would say. The happiness of being sad. It was sort of a mix like that. And then Thursday came. Friday came, my last day at work. We had a nice little lunch together. It was nice. I said goodbye to the people, and I came back and I was like, oh no, tomorrow I'm leaving. I have to pack. So then I started packing, which took me such a long. I don't know why. I take such a long time packing. So I bought a bed, I bought some beds, I don't even know. I bought so many stuff for the house, and I had extra stuff to pack, and I was complicating something that should be simple, but I was overcomplicating it. It took me, no joking, 3-4 hours to pack. Was I probably watching some YouTube videos in the meantime? Yeah. Was I just concentrated on packing? No, but still, it shouldn't take me 4 hours to pack a freaking suitcase. I don't know what was going on. And as well, it's not that I need to choose anything. I just need to put all of them in the suitcase and then go. It's not when you're going for a trip and you're I don't know what clothes to take. I need to take everything. It was, well, yeah. But then Saturday came, so my last day there, I was with my buddy Joan. We had a nice pizza together. It's the last day I'll probably see him in as well, many, many months. Probably this year. Maybe I don't see him anymore this year. Very possible. So we had a nice pizza together. It was cool. And then I go to the train station. As always, it's 1 hour late. Not the best. Then, I was supposed to get here 11 p.m. So it was 1 hour late. So I got here at almost midnight. Then I took the freaking public transport to come home. I was like, oh, it's midnight. It's a bit late. I'm wearing, I'm with the 2 big suitcases. People can steal my stuff. I'm in a vulnerable position. But, I said, you know what? I trust the public transport. I trust security in the city I live in. I shouldn't have done that. Why? 4 freaking homeless men come right next to me. At least there's a lot of people. They started chatting with me. I was like, dude, you don't I generally thought they were gonna rob my suitcases. I thought there was definitely a possibility. And then as well, I was wearing a watch, and they asked me what's the time. I was like, they're gonna steal my watch. I know this very well. So then I pull out my phone. I was like, it's this time, and they're like, oh, the watch doesn't work. I was like, Dude, you want to steal my watch. I know what you're trying to do, but we're in the public transport. There's other people, thankfully, that were, you know, they were looking very attentively because, five homeless men come drunk as it gets, come and speak with a freaking young boy with two huge suitcases. Well, what do you think they're trying to do? It's obvious they want to steal the suitcases. But in the end, like they left a couple of stations before the one I needed to take to get home. So I was safe, but I could have easily not gotten home with suitcases. So definitely, if you get home late, definitely take an Uber. I know it's expensive, and I know you probably don't want to waste money, but probably getting home safe it's worth more than not getting home. Just saying. But yeah, that's for future Daniel. And as well, what happened? Yeah, and then I got home. The apartment was so messy. So I don't want to use the word disgusting, but borderline disgusting. It was bugs all over. The dishes were clean. My bed smelled like fried chicken. I don't know. I didn't really sweat much here because I left right before, like right when summer was starting. So I don't know why it smells like fried chicken. My bed, probably not enough air circulation. Whatever. I don't know. Smelled very bad. The bathroom, everything was dirty. There were bugs everywhere. I don't think that's normal. But I cleaned all I could. I went to like I got home at like midnight. But as well, since the homeless people spoke to me, like that woke me up. It gave me sort of like an adrenaline rush. So then I went to sleep at like freaking 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Not the best time to go to sleep. As well, I was clean like all of this. I was cleaning the apartment, unpacking all of this, and then yeah, I went to take a shower. The shower didn't work. This is a huge problem. The landlord, he doesn't. It's not like normal landlords that you have a problem and then they're like, oh, tomorrow there'll be somebody there. My landlord doesn't really care much about any of that. So, I didn't even tell him like the shower doesn't work. It's like a sort. I have like a tub. So there's like the little tube that fills up the tub, and then there's the shower head. So I want to take a shower. The shower head, it doesn't work. So I only had the little tube. So I had to take a sort of bath slash shower because the shower head doesn't work. So I took a bath, but taking a bath takes a long ass time. It has to fill up. So I couldn't. It took me a while, and as well it was so hot. So I had to take a cold bath. But when you take a cold bath, it's like you're taking a cold plunge. And this was like freaking 2-3 a.m. So I was like, I want to sleep. I don't want to take a cold plunge right before I go to sleep. That's not really gonna help me much. And I go to the bed. It smells so bad. It smells like hardcore fried chicken. It smelled like the center of KFC. It smelled like the KFC kitchen. Not even this. It was so bad. So I ended up sleeping on the floor. I took out the freaking pillows. I put a towel on the floor and I slept on the floor. I sweated all freaking night long because it was so hot. I live on the last floor, so it's very, very freaking hot. And as well, it was very freaking hot. Like at night, at midnight, it was like 26 Celsius. In the day, it was like 34, 35 Celsius. Like I think more. I don't know. It was so freaking hot. I was just sweating all day long. But here, the heat is stronger than the heat in Paris because it was. I remember when it was the same temperature in Paris. It didn't feel like this. This feels hardcore. And yeah. Then Sunday I was like, dude, like my apartment is a mess. I have no food here. I haven't been here for months. Everything is dirty. So I just like all I did was cleaning. I went out to supermarket, got food for just Sunday, and went to sleep sweating. That was Sunday, but yeah, this was this week getting back home, and we'll see what next week gets us. I'm sorry for uploading this a bit late. I was, I needed to get accustomed to being back home again, so maybe that's why I uploaded a bit late. But thank you a lot for watching this What's Been Going On. We're in August now, and see you next week with the next What's Been Going On. Bye!